Long before the skyscrapers pierced the heavens and the hum of modern life filled the air, the land we now call America was a vast, untamed wilderness. It was a place where the rhythms of nature dictated life, and the stories of its earliest inhabitants were etched into the earth itself. This is where our journey begins, a journey into the oldest history of America, a tale of survival, discovery, and the enduring spirit of humanity. Thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, the world was a very different place. Glaciers stretched across much of the northern hemisphere, and sea levels were significantly lower. It was during this time that the first humans set foot on the American continent. They were not explorers in the traditional sense, but rather nomadic tribes following the herds of mammoths, bison, and other megafauna that roamed the land. These early pioneers crossed the Bering Land Bridge, a vast expanse of land that connected Siberia to Alaska, now submerged beneath the Bering Sea. Life for these early inhabitants was harsh and unforgiving. They relied on their intimate knowledge of the land, the seasons, and the animals they hunted. Tools were crafted from stone, bone, and wood, and fire became their greatest ally against the cold and predators. Yet, despite the challenges, these people thrived. They adapted to their environment, developing unique cultures and traditions that would shape the future of the continent. As the Ice Age waned and the glaciers began to retreat, the landscape of America transformed. Lush forests, sprawling grasslands, and fertile river valleys emerged, providing new opportunities for these early settlers. They spread across the continent, from the frozen tundras of the north to the sun-drenched deserts of the south. Each group adapted to their new surroundings, giving rise to a rich tapestry of cultures and civilizations. One of the most remarkable of these early cultures was the Clovis people, named after the distinctive stone tools first discovered near Clovis, New Mexico. These tools, known as Clovis points, were finely crafted and highly effective for hunting large game. The Clovis people were among the first to establish a widespread presence in North America, and their legacy can still be seen in the archaeological record today. But the story of America's earliest inhabitants is not just one of survival and adaptation. It is also a story of innovation and creativity. From the intricate basketry of the Great Basin to the monumental earthworks of the Mississippi Valley, these early cultures left behind a wealth of artifacts that speak to their ingenuity and artistic expression. They were the first storytellers, the first artists, and the first stewards of the land. As we delve deeper into the past, we begin to see the threads that connect these ancient cultures to the America we know today. Their legacy is woven into the very fabric of the continent, from the names of rivers and mountains to the traditions and beliefs of modern indigenous peoples. The story of America's oldest history is not just a tale of the past. It is a living, breathing narrative that continues to unfold. And so, our journey has only just begun. In the next part of our series, we will explore the rise of great civilizations, the builders of mounds and pyramids, and the societies that flourished long before the arrival of European explorers. The past is waiting to be uncovered, and together we will unfold its secrets. As the glaciers receded and the climate stabilized, the Americas became a fertile ground for the rise of complex societies. These were not just scattered tribes, but thriving civilizations with advanced knowledge of agriculture, architecture, and astronomy. Their achievement laid the foundation for the cultural richness of the continent, and their stories are etched into the very soil of America. One of the earliest and most remarkable of these civilizations was the Adena culture, which flourished in the Ohio River Valley around 1000 BCE. Known for their elaborate burial mounds, the Adena people were the first in a long line of mound-building cultures that would dominate the eastern woodlands for centuries. These mounds, some reaching heights of over 60 feet, were not just tombs, but also ceremonial centers, where rituals and gatherings connected the living with the spirits of the ancestors. The Adena were followed by the Hopewell culture, who expanded the tradition of mound building to new heights. The Hopewell were master traders, their network stretching from the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. They exchanged goods like obsidian from the Rocky Mountains, copper from the Great Lakes, and shells from the Atlantic coast. Their earthworks, often geometric in shape, were aligned with celestial events, suggesting a deep understanding of the cosmos. The Hopewell's influence was vast, and their legacy can still be seen in the intricate designs of their artifacts and the grandeur of their earthworks. Meanwhile, in the arid deserts of the southwest, another civilization was taking root. The ancestral Puebloans, also known as the Anasazi, began building their cliffside dwellings and sprawling villages around 1200 BCE. These people were masters of adaptation, harnessing the scarce water resources of the region to grow crops like maize, beans, and squash. Their architecture was both practical and awe-inspiring, with multi-story stone structures like those at Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde, standing a testament to their ingenuity. The ancestral Puebloan were also skilled at sites like Chaco Canyon. They built observatories to track the movement of the sun, moon, stars. Their knowledge of the heavens guided their agricultural cycle and religious ceremony, creating a harmonious relationship with the earth and sky. Further south, in the lush river valleys of Mesoamerica, even grander civilizations were emerging. The Olmec, often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica, rose to prominence around 1200 BCE. Known for their colossal stone heads, the Olmec were pioneers in art, writing, and urban planning. Their city of La Venta was a hub of political and religious activity, with towering pyramids, plazas, and intricate carvings depicting their gods and rulers. The Olmec's influence spread far and wide, shaping the cultures that would follow, including the Maya and the Aztec. They were the first in the Americas to develop a system of writing, and their calendar and religious practices would become cornerstones of Mesoamerican civilization. Back in North America, the Mississippian culture was reaching its zenith around 800 CE, centered around the city of Cahokia near present-day St. Louis. The Mississippians built one of the largest urban centers in the pre-Columbian Americas. At its peak, Cahokia was home to tens of thousands of people, with a central plaza dominated by the massive Monk's Mound, a structure larger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Mississippians were skilled farmers, growing maize on a scale that supported their large population. They were also fierce warriors, as evidenced by their fortified settlements and depictions of armed conflict in their art. Their society was hierarchical, with powerful rulers and a complex religious system centered around the worship of the sun and other natural forces. These ancient civilizations, though separated by time and distance, shared a common thread, a deep connection to the land and the cosmos. They built monuments that defied the ages, created art that told their stories, and developed systems of knowledge that would influence generations to come. Yet, their stories are often overlooked in the broader narrative of American history. These were not primitive peoples, but sophisticated societies with rich cultures and profound achievements. Their legacy is a reminder that the history of America did not begin with European colonization, but with the rise of these great civilizations. In the final part of our series, we will explore the twilight of these ancient cultures and the enduring impact they have had on the world. The past is not just a collection of forgotten tales, it is the foundation upon which our present is built. As the centuries pass, the great civilizations of ancient America face challenges that would test their resilience and reshape their destiny. Climate change, resource depletion, and social upheaval led to the decline of many of these societies, but their legacy endured, woven into the fabric of the land and the culture. This is the story of how the past continues, shaping the present and inspiring the future. The Mississippian culture, centered around Cahokia, began to decline around 1300 CE. The reasons for this decline are still debated, but factors such as overpopulation, environmental degradation, and political instability likely played a role. By the time European explorers arrived in the 16th century, Cahokia had been abandoned, its great mounds reclaimed by nature. Yet, the influence of the Mississippians lived on in the tribes of the southeast, such as the Creek, Choctaw, and Chickasaw, who carried forward their traditions of mound building, agriculture, and social organization. In the southwest, the ancestral Puebloans also faced challenges. Prolonged droughts in the 12th and 13th centuries forced many to abandon their cliffside dwellings and migrate to new areas. Some settled along the Rio Grande, where their descendants, the Pueblo peoples, continue to live today. Others integrated into neighboring tribes, sharing their knowledge of farming, pottery, and architecture. The resilience of the ancestral Puebloans is evident in the enduring traditions of the modern Pueblo communities, who still practice ceremonies and crafts passed down through generations. The Olmec civilization, though it declined around 400 BCE, left an indelible mark on Mesoamerica. Their innovations in writing, art, and urban planning influenced the rise of later civilizations such as the Maya and the Aztec. The Maya, in particular, built upon the Olmec's legacy, developing a sophisticated system of hieroglyphic writing, advanced mathematics, and a precise calendar. The Aztec, too, drew inspiration from the Olmec, adopting their religious practices and artistic styles. The Olmec's colossal stone heads, once symbols of their power, became enduring icons of Mesoamerican culture. Even as these ancient civilizations faded, their achievements continued to shape the world. The mounds of the Adena and Hopewell cultures inspired later Native American tribes, who built their own earthworks and maintained the spiritual connection to the land. The agricultural practices of the ancestral Puebloans and Mississippians laid the groundwork for the farming traditions of indigenous peoples across the continent, and the astronomical knowledge of the Olmec and Maya influenced not only their descendants, but also the broader understanding of the cosmos. When European explorers and settlers arrived in the Americas, they encountered a land rich with the remnants of these ancient civilizations, though they often failed to recognize the significance of what they found. The legacy of the ancients persisted. The mounds of Cahokia, the cliff dwellings of Mesa Verde, and the stone heads of the Olmec became symbols of a history that could not be erased. Today, the descendants of these ancient ancient peoples continue to honor their heritage. Native American tribes across the continent preserve the traditions, languages, and stories of their ancestors. Archaeologists and historians work tirelessly to uncover the secrets of the past, shedding light on the achievements of these early civilizations. And artists, writers, and filmmakers draw inspiration from the rich history of America's old, ensuring that these stories are not the legacy of the ancients is not a tale. It is a living, breathing narrative that continues to shape. It is a reminder that the history of America is far older and more complex than often portrayed. A story of resilience, innovation, and the enduring spirit of humanity. As we conclude through the old history of America, we are reminded that the past is not static. It unfolds each news of each retelling ancient story and each effort on a legacy of pain. The past is not just a collection of forgotten tales. It is the foundation upon which our present is built and the inspiration. Thank you for joining us on the journey through the past. Untold, the story of America's ancient civilization, and together we will continue to uncover